the MTA study, you're right. It's the 4 groups that we talked about. The findings were that during the time of medication and of behavioral treatment. Okay, so that's an initial study. You get improvements in all groups. Unfortunately, and this was very disappointing, by the way, the least improvement was in the non-medication group. The community group did better than that, and then the meds and behavior, I think, did the best, and then meds only. So you actually did better in the combined treatment. That's the original 14 months.
14 months.
Original 14 months. And then they had this idea. They had this theoretical model that does not seem to be true, that they thought, oh, these ADHD kids, they just don't have these like learning skills. You know, what we're going to do is we're going to show you that meds alone doesn't work and that behavior alone doesn't work. And if we give them the meds and the behavior, they get the best outcome, which they showed, but they thought it was going to be a permanent neurological or something like change, that it was going to be like an antibiotic. And it's not. Like that is the main disappointing finding, is they thought they were going to cure ADHD. And then they kept following these individuals. And there's even one more paper that came out, maybe like in the last 6 months, that looks at changes in like symptomology over time, and that symptomology actually fluctuates over the lifetime. But when they say those bad outcomes, which is the divorce, more likely to be on like government assistance, accidental death, lower educational attainment, all of those outcomes are the ones who had that label of ADHD, I'm doing air quotes, and as compared to the ones that did not meet the criteria. And that group was all lumped together. So the behavioral treatment, like just the ADHD people, and that's who gets followed, and they're on no medication. So the interpretation of it, and we can disagree with this, was that this is what happens when you don't keep treating them. That's the interpretation that the people who have done that study, like I know them personally, like believe is what the meaning of that is. Now you see it differently. That, can you help me understand what that is?
Well, first, I don't believe that there is an identifiable, discrete medical condition called ADHD. Hold on a second.
But that's important. Classify it. But group of people that we all meet, we all agree, but meet certain criteria.
But here's the problem: is the treatment is not targeting what the problem is. It's a label that gives us absolutely nothing. So if you have 5 kids who have nutritional deficiencies, 5 kids are getting beat at home, live in poverty-stricken homes. You get 5 kids who, aren't sleeping well at night. You get 5 kids who would just be much better outside playing and in the environment. And you label them all the same thing. And then you just say, we're going to keep you in this environment. We're not going to actually target the real problems that exist. And then we're going to try to measure it. That's my problem with the field in general. The other thing is how we can create outcome measures and the way we look at drugs. You use the word medicine. To me, it's not medicine. You're assuming it's medicinal. It's correcting something that's dysfunctional. I'm going to say, if I have social anxiety and I have 3 double vodka tonics, right, and that's a chemical that's impacting my brain, and then you measure my social anxiety symptoms, they're going to decrease. We're not going to say alcohol is an evidence-based medicine for social anxiety.
We've already medicalized alcohol. It's called benzodiazepines. They act in the same mechanism, which is why, guys, if you take benzodiazepines, please do not drink alcohol. It is not safe. Do, yeah. You will suppress your respiratory drive and you can die. Okay, yeah. It's like super serious.